Ambassador Rohde, just before you came for an interview, Milan Radoiçiqit issued a statement saying that he takes responsibility for the Banjskë incident, not the Serbian government, and he resigns. How do you comment on that?
I also noted that he resigned as deputy head of the Serbian list. I mean, a lot of these developments are absurd. I think somebody wants to put the sole blame on him. We might never know the background, but it's clear to me if there is a complete failure of this, success has many fathers or parents, failure is an orphan.
So if this action was a success, would we have seen Serbian government taking responsibility, or we just simply would have gone on the narrative that it is the Kosovo Albanians who are at fault all the time, as Vučić was saying, that it is Kurtis at fault and Kurtis to blame for this action. Similar to a little bit what the international community was saying so far for the last 8 months, blaming Kosovo largely.
You know, I don't want to speculate or ask hypothetical questions. What is clear now, that was a heinous murderous attack and a policeman was killed, and there's no more business as usual. Questions have to be asked. The investigation hopefully will clear a lot of things. Perpetrators must be brought to justice.
What has changed this time, Ambassador? You were not one of the key people who were blaming Kosovo so far, but we have seen, as you know, there's been sanctions on Kosovo for the last 8 months. No sanctions for Serbia. Sanctions or measures, whatever you want to call them. Kosovo has been gaslighted. People are at the moment that they feel a bit of a catharsis. Finally, because there's a drone video of 30 armed men, international community can see something that it was telling us the opposite until now. Do you think it was unfair how Kosovo has been treated in the last 7 months with sanctions against Kosovo and no sanctions against Serbia?
Look, I would always differentiate between events which happen where you react, and this was an attack, and immediately the international community reacted. Everybody has condemned that. What was happened before is a political development, and we also reacted to that. So that's what I meant with there's no more business as usual, because when you have armored personal carriers, rocket launchers, hand grenades, a military-style attack on Kosovo territory, this is a direct attack against the integrity of Kosovo, and this has to be evaluated also on that scale. NATO has responded, as you know, increased its presence just yesterday, and we continue to monitor closely. And what is most, I think, reassuring also, I think everybody has said that the reaction of the Kosovo police was very professional and in close coordination with international security providers, KFOR and ULEX.
You have yourself classified it as heinous criminal and terrorist attack in your Twitter. Thank you for that. But up to now, there were violent men. They looked completely trained in barricades so far. There were Z-signed armed groups, and international community was still blaming Kosovo. Does it have to be really bad before international community sees what's going on? Does, as the expression goes in English, shit has to hit the fan until it's taken seriously? Does it have to get very bloody and very violent and people to die for international community to understand what's going on in the north?
Again, we already on May 29 reacted very decisively on that. Perpetrators need to be brought to justice. They haven't so far. This time we really have perpetrators. I mean, you saw the events after, people died. I mean, the policeman. I was personally together with my Western Balkan envoy at the commemorative event. I shook hands with the kids of the deceased policeman. That was very hard. And what happened afterwards is, a glorification of criminals and terrorists. As the US said, that's not what we take part in.
If there are glorification of terrorists in Serbia, I'm going to ask you directly, is there going to be measures against Serbia, or are just measures going to continue only against Kosovo?
As I said, we established the facts, and even I saw also yesterday a statement of the High Representative, who doesn't exclude measures against Serbia if it is proven that there is a direct link. I mean, what I see so far is that most of the equipment which was secured near Banjskë does originate in Serbia.
But in Serbia, this action is seen as violent and aggressive towards these people, Milan Radoiçiq's group, that they see as heroes. Vučić says that this was a violent attack against them. Are you sure this is a violent attack on Kosovo, terrorist attack on Kosovo?
I will not, don't ask me to, let's say, evaluate always the narrative which is now disseminated in Serbia. We have clearly said what we think, and we all call urgently for de-escalation, especially with words, and glorifying criminals and terrorists doesn't contribute to de-escalation. My minister has made this clear. We have made clear also to Serbia that we expect a clear condemnation of any violence and renunciation of violence. This has to happen because a terrorist or criminal attack, what happened last Sunday, doesn't take away the facts on the ground. We need a political solution.
But if Radoiçiq continues not to be arrested in Serbia for what he has done, do we continue business as usual, appeasing Serbia like international community, maybe not yourself or Germany, but international community looks to the rest of the Balkans like it is appeasing Serbia?
I give the question back to you. I mean, even the president of Serbia has announced that Mr. Radoiçiq will be
questioned.
Will be questioned, yeah. But if this guy has now publicly confessed that he was the sole perpetrator,
yes,
we have issued our expectations that perpetrators must be brought to justice. So, logical consequence would be if the perpetrator admits, the perpetrator should be brought to justice.
Then can I ask you if Germany herself as a country is also applying any measures against Kosovo? Are you applying as a country any measures?
We are also part of the EU. Of course, we applied
So you
measures.
agree on measures against Kosovo for what has Kosovo done in last 8 months, right? You continue to agree with these measures?
Have, yeah. As I said at the beginning, there are two things.
Yes.
You have a crisis, an incident, a grave incident where you react, and you have measures which were introduced because of for a certain reason, and the reasons were stated by the EU on 3rd of June.
But you don't see a linkage between this behavior to sanction Kosovo and encourage bully behavior that it has resulted with last week's action. You don't see a link between these two.
What I see is that there is no more business as usual. The whole situation is to be reassessed. But the facts on the ground haven't changed. We need more dialogue. We need de-escalation on all sides.
If we need more dialogue from both sides, why are you punishing only one side? Is it just because you can?
No. We are not punishing only one side. At the moment, as I said, the assessment is still ongoing, and if the other party is also found in clear breach, then you might also expect something. But I cannot, I can't answer to you hypothetical questions.
An ordinary policeman has been killed in the north because international said you don't need special police in the north. This incident proves you can't fight those groups without special police? Or does it prove otherwise for you?
Sorry, I have to correct you. We have never said there should be no special police in the north. Germany is recognizing the sovereignty of Kosovo over its whole territory, including law enforcement operations. Before the incident, during the incident, and after the incident. The only question or the only statement we made, you need special police for special operations. You don't need special police to do a car search of a family, you know?
Has special police, do you have proof that special police has done the car search of the family?
You remember the incident some months ago when I think in a village Hoxha, there was a guy searched a winery maker. This was done with special police. If somebody doesn't declare wine, you don't need special police, in my view.
That is about Hoxha, which I don't know the details of, but I know that Afrim Bunyaku was doing a search of a truck when he got hit.
Yeah.
So a simple policeman was searching, like you say the scenario, searching a truck, he got hit by these groups. So your argument that you don't need special forces to search a car maybe is not true in this case.
Depends on the situation,
Depends.
Jeta.
So how do you know when to search, what to search, and who to risk the lives? How do you know the situation?
No, of course, after the incident, as I said, the security situation has changed. But we have seen in the months situations where our assessment was you don't need at that situation, at a border crossing, maybe, you know, at that point, special police.
Now that we are where we are, Mr. Sarazin was the most active, immediately jumping to come to Pristina and to try to deal with the situation. I'm interested to know whether Germany, being quite a fair country so far, is going to continue measures against Kosovo or ask it to stop or have both countries have measures. Are you going to recommend to remove measures for Kosovo?
As I told you again, I'm not answering a hypothetical question. We reassess situations. We expect Kosovo to do what we said. We also expect Serbia to do. You have to see also the political environment. We have a Berlin Process summit in 2 weeks. We have the dialogues at the moment stalled. We want to restart it. Last Monday, as you could see from the news, the political advisors of US, Italy, Germany, France met with Lajčák to restart that. And this is ongoing. We want political solutions. There is no military way out.
Are you going to meet Rakić, for example, who is now representative of Lista Srpska that is so close to the terrorist action this week? And Rakić is also lighting candles for Radoiçiqit. Are you going to meet with him?
There are a lot of people who are lighting candles, sometimes for the wrong reason. I would say this is a Friday evening, please give me also my weekend.
Okay.
But I meet normally with every political actor in this country, opposition, government, and we had a lot of meetings this week.
Lastly, Edi Rama has asked for KFOR to take the situation in the north. Does Germany share the same request that KFOR, not Kosovo police, deals with rule of law in the north?
I mean, I think all our statements have made it crystal clear this week that Kosovo is a sovereign country. The Kosovo police is the law enforcement agency in Kosovo, supported by KFOR and ULEX. And if there is a request by KP to act, that KFOR or ULEX acts, they will according to the rules. But there was no request, and we commended KP on its professional handling of the situation. And I don't see the need that KFOR takes over, because we have a sovereign country with a law enforcement agency who acted very professionally.
To end in a positive note in this darkness, you said something that left an impression on me, that you evaluated and consider Kosovo's police action to be professional and good last weekend. How did you conclude this? Because there are other narratives out there who think it wasn't. So just interested to know how did you conclude it.
I'm not the only one who concluded it. It was publicly mentioned by the EEA spokesman, Mr. Stano. I personally spoke to the head of the police, to KFOR. Everybody was saying this was a great and good cooperation, and it needs to continue. I mean, just this morning we spoke with the president, and I also reiterated that that was good, and it needs to continue, especially in difficult times. You need, friends need to stick together.
Mr. Rohde, thank you for coming, and have a good weekend.
Thank you.